Hi, my name is John Buckman. I'm a former fire chief at German Township Volunteer Fire Department, Evansville, Indiana, state fire training director in the state of Indiana, an instructor, grandfather, author, husband. Today, I want to talk with you about modern fire behavior. Some people say the stuff that's coming out of the research is not accurate. It's not something we ought to be doing. My question to you is traditional thinking about to get you killed? When you look at the strategic and tactical considerations in today's fire environment, are they different than what they were 5, 10, or 15 years ago? And I will tell you they are significantly different. But there is not any one way to do this job. We need critical thinkers when they first arrive on the scene who will size up the situation, gather all the facts, and make a rational, not an emotional decision. We need firefighters and officers who will think through the process to make sure that they are going to engage in the proper application of the strategy through tactical operations. The tactical conditions inside of burning building are different today than they were years ago as it relates to the rapid fire growth, the temperatures, the velocity. All these things have changed significantly. That means we need firefighters and officers who have less experience in making sound, rational decisions to be thinking through the process. Critical thinking is a skill that is not learned overnight. It's learned over time. What strategy would you plan to implement on this particular fire? Two-story single-family residence, used to be a single-family residence. It's now been converted to a duplex. It's a daytime fire. You're in a career fire department with 12 people responding. What would be your strategy and what would be your tactical application of that strategy? You have to decide based upon your circumstances. If we take this same fire and we move it to a suburban area where it's a volunteer home response operation, will the strategy and the tactical application be different? I will tell you, more than likely, it should be different. There are time factors that impact your ability to respond in a suburban versus a more urban area. Having a known staffing component of 12 people for a career fire department means that we can apply the strategy through tactical operations based upon those 12 people. In a volunteer home response type of area, you have no idea how many are going to respond. You may have 2, you may have 4, you may have 8 or 10. They may respond as a company or they may respond in a piecemeal fashion. If they respond in a piecemeal fashion as the incident commander, you can't always do things simultaneously. You may have to do the tactical operations sequentially. But again, you have to think through the process. What are the tools in your toolbox and who do you have to use those tools? Why would you do an offensive fire attack on this fire? Conduct a life safety primary search? Absolutely. If you pull up and the neighbors say there's cars here on the road, on the street, parked here, these people live in this house, they're not outside, there's a good indication that they may be in there. Firefighters risk their lives to save other lives. We need to stop risking our lives just to save a building. I can tell you, in 1979, I put 9 firefighters in the hospital. One fire, 9 firefighters in the hospital, some of my best friends, as I watched the parapet wall collapse on them outside of a tavern. The end result is that building was closed for the day. The end result is it burned to the ground. The insurance company rebuilt it, and here it is many, many years later, and it's still in business. And I almost killed 9 firefighters. You have to think, what is the risk, what is the value, and what is going to be the return on the investment? Our lives are an investment. What is the return on the investment for that incident commander? It's not about a thrill. It's not about, oh, it's our day to have a working fire. It's about a rational, sound decision-making process that the incident commander uses to make decisions that are in the best interest of everybody. Firefighters, homeowners, neighbors, businesses, sound, rational decisions. Every fire sends out signals. Every fire sends out signals that can assist the incident commander in making a sound, rational decision. But do you know how to recognize those signals? Do you know what the fire is telling you? Have you read enough fires to know what it's telling you? Do you understand velocity? Do you understand the density of smoke? Do you understand wind speed and the impact that those factors have on your decision or on the outcome of your decision? Being able to read a fire is the mark of a good firefighter who is able to make decisions based upon knowledge and skill, not guesswork or luck. There's been some research done by the International Society of Fire Service Instructors, South Carolina Fire Academy, and others that says we need to apply water from the safest position in the fastest way possible. Sometimes that'll be from the interior when we have adequate staffing and the fire is not big enough to overcome us. And sometimes it'll be from the exterior because of limited staffing or the size of the fire or access to the fire. Bill Guston, a favorite instructor at the FDIC in Indianapolis, from Miami-Dade, Metro-Dade Fire Rescue in Miami, said this: big city tactics require big city staffing. The books written on strategy and tactics in most cases are written by and for career firefighters. As an incident commander, you don't have a fully staffed career fire department, your decisions may be different than what you planned, what you read in a book. Because it takes people to do tactical operations on the fire ground. It takes multiple people. It takes people who will replace those initial people. How long and how hard can a firefighter work? And do we have adequate staffing in order to make sure that we can rehab those people appropriately and get other people in there quickly? In today's fire environment, the tactical adaptation is based upon many, many factors. I remember taking a National Fire Academy course 40 plus years ago called Operational Risk Analysis, and they said then there were over 100 things, 100 factors the incident commander had to consider during his SIZEUP, and I did say his because back in those days it was only he, over 100 factors that impact his decision and what it is he's going to be able to accomplish. We've already mentioned staffing, flow path. What is the air doing? How much, when you introduce air into a fire, what happens? Do you control the flow path? Response time. How long does it take you to get there? Water supply. These are factors that require you to adapt to the situation. Combustibility of the contents. A single family dwelling has significantly higher combustibility contents today than they had years ago. There are very few houses that have natural wood products. Most of the material in houses today is from crude oil. It's a plastic kind of material. They burn hotter and they burn faster. How hot is it? How hot is hot? How hot can your firefighters take it? How hot have they been in? Are all factors that you need to think about before you make the strategic and tactical choices that you make. How quick can we do ventilation? Will we be able to ventilate? Vertical ventilation. How long will it take to do a vertical ventilation? Do we actually need to do a vertical ventilation in today's modern fire environment? If it takes you 10 minutes, fire is going to burn a hole in the roof. How long is it going to take you to apply water? Do you arrive with a crew of 3 or 4 on an engine? Immediately be able to respond with water? Pull that line, get it to the front door? Can you do that in 2 minutes? That impacts your ability and impacts your decisions. Staff capability. I mentioned earlier about the lack of experience. Our younger firefighters today don't see the fires that we saw years ago. And if they do, in many cases, they don't see the size of the fire because of quicker response times earlier detection. So you have to look at the staff capability. In a volunteer response situation, you got to look at the people who are arriving on that first new fire truck and say, what are they capable of doing? Are they capable of mounting an interior fire attack? Is this their first fire? Is this going to be the first fire where they were on the nozzle? What will they do? How will they react when they get in that building and it's pitch dark, it's hot, they hear things, they see things that they've never seen or heard before, they've only read about it in books or only been told about it in stories by instructors? What will their capability be to follow your orders and to carry out your orders in a timely manner? How are you able to predict the outcome? When you look at a fire and you decide this is the strategic choice that I'm making and the tactical things I want to do, what's the fire condition going to be in 3 to 5 minutes or 6 to 7 minutes? You need to be thinking about that. Where's the fire at now? Where's it going to be? How long is it going to take it to get there? So when we look at some of the myths that are out there about firefighting, things that we've been told for years, putting water from the outside spreads fire. The research has showed us not true. Absolutely not true. Does it introduce air into a fire? Certainly. But it doesn't spread the fire. So we need to destroy that myth. We need to let firefighters know, get water on the fire as fast as possible. We've heard real firefighters go inside where the action is. Yard firefighters stay outside. No. Smart firefighters make decisions based upon their capability, their ability to respond to the fire, their ability to get water on a fire in a timely manner. It's not real firefighters go inside. Smart firefighters make good decisions. Fires double every size in a minute. That's what we were told in the old days. Nope, not true today. Fire can triple in size in as little as 15 seconds. Again, the combustibility of materials inside that burning building have changed significantly. I encourage you to look at the research that's being done by Underwriter Laboratory, the research that was done by NIST, the Illinois Fire Service Institute. There are so many things out there today that you don't have to rely just upon experience to learn from. Be safe out there. Take care of yourselves so that everyone goes home. God bless you.